I fell in love with racing, sitting in the grandstands, watching my grandfather race sprint cars. And I remember sitting in the grandstands, watching the race, wishing it would hurry up and get over so I could run down to get my picture taken in victory lane with them. And that is where I fell in love with racing. And going from being a fan to becoming a professional race car driver was beyond my wildest imagination. I started racing go-karts just because it was cool and it was a hobby. I took it seriously, but it was still just about fun. I played every other sport imaginable, but driving a go-kart at 60 miles an hour was way more exciting to me than waiting for a baseball to be hit my way at shortstop. Just God has a funny way of making things work out, and for me, it worked out to where I was able to become a professional race car driver. That first opportunity was from Joe Gibbs Racing. They told me I had the job. It was 2 weeks before my final exams, and I rented a little U-Haul trailer and took all the stuff from my dorm room, put it in there, and drove to North Carolina. And that was my big break, to go and come up here and be entrenched in the racing industry. And 20 years later, here I am as a professional race car driver in the Cup Series. Been doing it going on 11 seasons now, and it has been a wild ride. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, and a lot in between, but it has been amazing. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But at this point, I'm ready to go back to being a fan. I'm ready to be a husband and be a dad full-time, and to be a fan of the sport again. I've weighed out all the thoughts, and I've prayed about it. Janice and I have spent many nights laying in bed talking about it, and the questions are the same as anybody else would have when you're gonna stop doing something. Can I afford it? And the answer I kept coming up with is I can't afford not to. I don't really feel like I have any regrets. Like in the moment, there's probably things on Tuesday where I was like, oh man, I regret that. But when I look at everything like holistically, I don't have any regrets. It all played out exactly how God intended for it. And the driving factor is simple for me. I'm gonna be 38 years old in March. And I feel like for 38 years, my life has always revolved around me, my schedule, everything I have going on. Like when I was a kid, my parents did everything they possibly could do to get me to school, to run me to basketball practice, to go to the go-kart track. Everything revolved around what I needed to do. And I'm excited about going forward with my family and to turn my focus and attention on my family and start scheduling things around their schedule. And I just feel like now's the right time. At the end of this season coming up, I'm gonna have a 10-year-old Alex and I'm gonna have a 9-year-old Abby. And I've got a short window to spend with them while they still think Dad's cool. And before you know it, they're gonna have car keys and they're gonna be running off with their friends, and I'm gonna miss it. And so I don't wanna miss it. I don't want to keep racing in 6-7 years down the road. My kids be grown and running off with their friends and doing the same thing that I did when I was 16 or 17 and regret it and miss that opportunity to have spent the quality time with them. I'll tell you the defining moment for me. It was 2018. I was in the playoffs, my first year at Stewart-Haas Racing, and I had just won at Talladega.
Almirola all the way to the bottom of the track. Aric Almirola is going to win at Talladega.
And it was an incredible day. It was an awesome win. It catapulted us into the next round of the playoffs. Like, everything was as cool as it could possibly be. We tucked the kids in, and I just remember a really special moment, like with the kids, like just not in a rush to put them to bed, just like being with them and like seeing the joy and the excitement on their face. Janice and I tucked the kids in, we kissed them goodnight. I walked downstairs and was like, oh, it's Sunday night, the garbage has to go out. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I just won the biggest race in my career at that point, and here I am walking to take the garbage and recycling out. Like, being a race car driver is a small part of who I am, but it doesn't define me. Whether I finish 40th that afternoon or I just won that race, I was still gonna take the garbage and recycling out to the road. I've done it for long enough, and I'm ready to be home. I'm excited to race this season. I'm looking forward to the challenge of the new car, and I am pumped to go out on a high note. Results and trophies and all of those things at this point is not going to change my life. What is going to change my life is you know, a quality relationship with my wife and my kids. That stuff will last a long, long time. The trophies and accomplishments and all those things, they collect dust. So I'm excited. I am excited to race my heart out for the 2022 season. And when it's over, I'm ready to wave goodbye and to be done full-time Cup racing. It's been a wonderful journey. I've loved every minute of it, and I'm ready to move on to whatever's next in my life.